meantime, the graphic business Stanbic Bank breakfast meeting is taking place today at the Labadi Beach Hotel, and we'll bring you all the discussions. The discussion there is on the theme building a national equity fund to support SMEs. It is also hinged on making sure that many of all these small-scale businesses, small, medium-scale enterprises are keeping their books well. They also have proper means by which they can put together nice proposals and access funding for many of the related things that they are doing. But before we go there, let's conclude on the discussions with the two Michaels we have in the studio. And so now the decision point is what? After this press conference, the families are saying,
we are going to appeal to the police if they could probably or possibly do a third-person forensic test. That is, even if we should do the DNA, we are appealing to them. There's a humble appeal. But
the DNA is also very precise.
We know, we know that. Yes, but if the police do it, the only results we can expect is that it's the girls. That is the only results we as families, we do believe will come out.
It's them or not?
It's them or not.
In relation to the remains that have been found.
Exactly. If we are being fair, that's the only result they will bring out. So we are asking by this press conference that we are going to have, we are going to plead with them. If there could be a third party forensic test, that would be okay with us.
Okay, thank you very much, all of you. And we've been speaking to spokespersons for the 3 Takrady missing girls, and I've had in the studio Michael Crunchy, who is a brother to one of the victims, and Priscilla Mantibia Crunchy, and also Michael Grant Hayford is a lead spokesperson. He will be addressing that press conference just some few meters away, Mr. Biggs, as it is just this morning. But in the meantime, Amavio Sabaje is ready with the latest from the Labadi Beach Hotel. Is where we have the graphic business Stanbic Bank breakfast meeting, and please make sure that you stay tuned. Mamavi is ready. Mamavi, what do you have for us so far?
Well, Roland, we're talking SMEs today here at the Labadi Beach Hotel. You know, small and medium-scale enterprises are obviously very critical to economic drivers. And in a country such as ours, which is developing, if you look at the statistics, it is said that this sector alone has about 80%, or they contribute about 85% to the economy. We're talking about jobs, we're talking about the workforce still growing. So this conversation is obviously very important, particularly at this time in our country's life, if you like. And I have, just to begin the conversation ahead of the breakfast meeting proper, which is running on the theme, building a national equity fund to support SMEs. The boss of Stanbic Bank, who is a partner to this breakfast meeting, is joining the conversation. Good morning to you, Mr. Ndani. Thank you for coming. And Theophilus Yate is the graphic business editor. Good morning to you. I think I'll start with you. Is this the final breakfast meeting for the year?
No, this is the second for the year. So it's a quarterly program. So we have 2 more breakfast meetings to organize before the year comes to an end.
Okay, Ms. Ndani, I have tracked some of the things that you've said in the past. You've certainly talked about SMEs. You've talked about the challenges. And has that contributed to this theme and this conversation today?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. As you indicated in your opening, the SMEs are very critical, and we've all kind of talked about it, but we must begin to put some firm stakes in the ground as to how we as a country can support our SMEs, who really are the conduits for employment, conduits for our future growth. So really, yeah, this has contributed to the selection of the discussion topic today.
Theophilus, who is here today? Who is part of the breakfast meeting?
We have economists here. We have some representatives from the policy think tank here. We have captains of industry and SME owners themselves who are here. We have the politicians who are here. We've brought a cross-section of the Ghanaian business community and Ghanaians from all walks of life. All walks of life because some are about to start their own business, some are in there, and they all need to be part of this conversation, even if they don't contribute, to learn and to pick some few lessons here. So that is the kind of people we have here this morning.
Mr. Nani, one of the constraints to startups, small, medium-scale enterprises, funds.
Yeah.
And usually they are left to go to the banks,
Yeah.
which is not advisable at the very beginning of your business. So what are the options?
The options is exactly what we have asked to be discussed today. The National Equity Fund. Capital formation. So capital can be equity, can be debt. Now, SMEs are still going through ideation, concept, business inception, and they go through quite a bit of, uncertainty until it gets to market acceptance. Even if the products or services get to market acceptance, you still need a lot more research and development and market positioning to really be on your feet. Now, so at that time, there's a lot of investment, there's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of inefficiencies. Debt or bank debt is not really suited for that. What is suited for that is equity. Okay. And we must put our monies where our mouths are. I mean, i.e., we've seen a lot of interventions coming to SMEs, and everybody's talking about debt. I think that the debt issuers are happy to do it, but it clearly would not be what the SMEs need. And I hope today's discussion will show that.
Okay.
Yes, funding is critical, but what type of funding it is. And my view is that we need to broaden the discussion and to see the pool. And in a country like ours where capital formation is very, very young, when I say capital formation, whether it's individuals and organizations that have over the years built solid capital, that's very thin in this country. So there must be a conscious effort by all meaning Ghanaians and government to set up an equity fund that deals with the risky takeoff portions of business.
Plus, I know that with the breakfast meetings, we don't leave the conversation only here at the Labadi Beach Hotel. This is really important. Yeah. How are we hoping that we can push it forward beyond this conversation?
What will happen is that we'll put it in a document form. Some of the recommendations that will be made, because at the end of the day, we are not just starting the conversation, but we are bringing finality to it in terms of taking something away. So we've already decided that we'll put it in the form of a document and share it with the relevant authorities so that we see. This is one thing that we believe that is very, very crucial. Crucial because from what Mr. Ndani said, there's been a number of interventions as far as capital formation is concerned, but we haven't seen anything like a fund that is dedicated to bringing equity to the table in terms of, apart from the business owners, bringing equity from elsewhere. So we want to take it very seriously and share with them, and also show it next year by now, show something for it that, look, we started this conversation.
This.
We should and hopefully be tracking it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I think just to add to what Tio is saying, there hasn't been a shortage or lack of effort, whether it's by government or development agencies, to support SMEs. But the manner of intervention is been fraught with some gaps. When you say an equity fund, the disciplines around managing that equity fund, selecting the beneficiaries and, following their progress and ensuring there's a clear exit plan. At what point do you exit these entities, with that supported fund? Those disciplines have been lacking. Whether you go back as, far back as the middle 80s where we had all sorts of World Bank, FOSMED, name them. All sorts of funds have come through. The central bank, government itself, all the governments have set up various kind of funds to assist SMEs. But the manner of administrating these funds have been, found wanting. So the idea is that, for me, the quantum of funds available has been there, but it's just the vehicles that we create with the right disciplines to manage it, which has been lacking.
Is there best practice somewhere that we're hoping that we could just copy?
Oh yes, there's best practice. There's best practice. I mean, if you go back to even Japan after the Second World War, how did they create all the global companies that we see today? They created them through state equity funds and state processes of monitoring the progress and how they help them to grow. There are great lessons for Ghana to learn from post Second World War Japan industrial development.
We're talking about a workforce that's still growing. We're talking about jobs, people needing jobs. We're talking about this sector alone having the opportunity or the capability of absorbing some of these jobless persons. Why have we waited for this long? I mean, why has it remained the way it is?
I think that is the tragedy, and especially if you look at the level of unemployment today, and even the quality of that unemployment. These are all, serious graduates from universities who've got skills, who haven't got jobs to do. So it's about also the development. So if an SME starts as a mom and a man and a wife who've started their business and they're taking a bank loan, they just want to run it themselves. They don't really see beyond their own personal efforts. And if they don't, where are those job opportunities going to come from? So we all talk about SMEs offering the conduit for jobs, but they have to be structured in a manner that dissociates the ownership from the administration and the running and development of the business. That's where you now need somebody to come and help you with strategy, somebody to come and help you with finance, somebody to come and help with marketing, somebody to come and help with packaging. That's when you have actually created an institution, an enterprise with different parts of the enterprise working to the final product or service. That's when you begin to absorb people. But for most of the enterprises you see these days, SMEs, it's just the man and the wife, and everybody else is either temporary or relative, not qualified. So we need to begin to create those SME. And I was just saying to Theo before the start of this program that SME is not. It's only a phase in the development of any enterprise. All these mega global companies started as SMEs. But how do you give enterprise development structures to it, to move it beyond SME, to become large, to become global? That's how we create jobs. And an equity fund will impose some disciplines on the people the promoters. The promoters are great people. These are people who think out products, who think out services that solves people problems. And it's not everybody who can sit and be thinking about how do I solve a problem. But entrepreneurs, and promoters sit and think how they solve problems. And when they think and get it, they come out and, they create aha moments and then employ real good people to help them take that idea and or products forward. And that's what we've been lacking.
I'm going to go to Theophilus for the structure of this conversation this morning. Okay. But because you're within the banking sector, what has been the challenge? Why can't banks do what you're talking about?